1, 2, 3. What's up YouTube? Dal here from Zephyr. Thank you to those of you that are watching live online now, and we'll do some more content after this involving Red Dragon Archfiend. This is a brand new updated build, and as you can see, it involves Borreload Savage Dragon. Now this is going to be a little bit differently, so massive shout out to Red Eyes King 313, who kind of gave me the original idea for this particular type of build when he was using Dogmatica Punishment and an engine to try and send cards from the extra deck to the graveyard so that you could utilize and negate with Borreload Savage Dragon. So in this version, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. So for those of you watching live, if you haven't already, or those of you now watching this as the replay, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So we're going to dive headfirst into the profile. Most of you that are watching live have already seen it being built, but we'll show you as we go. So we've got 3 Soul Resonator, pretty standard on this one, followed up by 3 Crimson Resonator. This is actually going to be even more important in this build because your 1 Dark Dragon and your Crimson Resonator will of course be the pair that share the board, and your Crimson Resonator will then give you 2 more Resonators for free, and then all you need to do to add to your hand is an additional extender, whether it be a Bone Archfiend, whether it be an Obsessive Overloop, a Salamander Catalyzer, or a Wild Wind to give you that monster on the board to help you then synchro climb higher. So then for our other Resonators, we've got the 1 Vision and the 1 Synchron Resonator. For the non-tuner Fiends, we've got triple Bone Archfiend, 1 Obsessive Overloop, 1 Catalyzer, and of course 1 Wild Wind. All standard there. In this version, we are actually playing the Acasta Dawnwalker. Now, it's currently a 43 card build. I still need to kind of get my head around the strategy and kind of understanding what I might want to take out. But the idea with Acasta is it is a very nice combo that allows you to get into Borreload Savage Dragon very nice and early. So technically, a caster plus a discard and the extra Foolish Burial can give you your ability for the Borreload Savage Dragon. And on top of that as well, the card you'll send off of the extra Foolish Burial will give you that ability to draw the card back that you've discarded so that you've got the ability to continue to use your normal summon and then just go for normal combo anyway. I am main decking Small World, so I am still main decking the Santa Claus, so I do have that main route of a direct Kaiju out to my opponent's boards. On top of that as well, what you've got to remember is Small World does bridge you and does give you loads of options to get into a starter, an extender, or a board breaker in the form of the Kaiju as well. Your extenders can of course be your Bestials, they can be your Fiend monsters, but then your starters can also be your Soul Resonator and a Crimson Resonator as well. Then for the Bestials, of course, we are still playing the 2 Lubellion just because Small World can then count as another option to it, alongside your aggressive Druid Swarm, your Foolish Burial of Saranir, and your Magnamut, and of course your Bulldrake. Now Saranir is going to be a little bit more important in this because of the card of extra Foolish Burial doesn't allow you to set spells and traps the entire turn you activate it. It means that being able to rely on something like Red Zone or Red Screen is a little bit more difficult, which is why you'll want to consider trying to rely on something like your Bestial Saranirs, because when you activate Branded Beast and you can Foolish Burial your Regained, you can get both of these back to the board during a turn that you're not allowed to set any spells and traps. The best thing about that as well, off the back of it, is when you're activating the extra Foolish Burial to set up your plays for the Savage Dragon, you're also putting an additional Dark in the graveyard, so your Bestials are already live without having to banish the Lubellion or anything else. So carrying on, of course, with the normal spells of the deck, we've got 3 Resonator Cool, pretty standard on that one. 3 Crimson Gaia, absolutely insane. Like, this card deserves to be a foil. We already know all of the supers from OTS 23, so we know it's not going to be in there. But maybe this is going to be one of the ones where, you know how, I think it was like the 2021 tin was the last one, maybe 2020, when they put Structured X reprinted in the tins and gave them all rarity upgrades. This would be one of the cards I'd love to see. Then of course we are playing 3 Small Worlds. I'll show you some more bridges. I showed you some bridges in my previous video for the deck, but for this version as well, like I said, the idea is you're able to kind of go anywhere. You can get to like a Bestial, you can get to a Santa Claus, and you can also get to your starter of Resonator. Now literally this bridge can go from Souls to a Druid Swarm, or it can go from a Druid Swarm to a Souls, or basically a Bestial. And the way that works is you reveal these 2. So let's say you have a Bestial in the hand. You would activate Small World, reveal the Bestial, and then reveal the Santa Claus in the deck. Now, you don't have to reveal the Santa Claus. You can basically reveal any dark monster from the deck that is not a dragon, doesn't match any of their stats, and doesn't match its level. So you can very easily reveal a Bone Archfiend, for example. In doing so, you can then reveal your Soul Resonator, as the only stats that match these two is the fact that they are both fiends. They're different levels, different attributes, different attack and defense stats. Of course, it can be done the other way around as well. So if you're like, I've opened up 2 Soul Resonators and Small World, and I want to get to a Bestial to extend my plays, you can go all the way into a Magnamut as well. So that's just a minor Small World idea. On the live stream, I'll show you guys more bridges to Small World, just so you're a little bit more familiar with it. Then we are playing triple extra Foolish Burial. Now, the reason we're playing 3 of this is it's a card you have to see in order to resolve the Borreload Savage play, because if you can't get your Link Monster to the graveyard, you're not going to be able to set up the ability to bring back that Link Monster from the graveyard to set up the negate off the Borreload Savage Dragon. So this one is you pay half your life points, you send a monster from the extra to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 extra Foolish Burial per turn, and you cannot set spells and traps during the entire turn you activate this card. Now, if you don't want to play extra Foolish Burial, another way that you can go is you can go for Foolish Burial of Goods, and you would send Time to Stand Up, but then it means you need to get to a level 10 Dark Dragon Synchro in order to make that live, whereas this does give you a very nice Fat Stack Boral Savage, because Fat Stack Boral Savage will be 4,750 in attack, and it will have 5 negates on it, obviously 1 to be used each turn. My go-to board breaker at current is Book of Eclipse. You can change this for whatever you want. 1 Foolish Burial, and then of course the 1 Red Zone. Now you could cut Red Zone completely if you want to, but you still want to have that fallback of getting to Red Zone if you don't open up extra Foolish Burial. This can also very easily be Red Screen as well if you prefer that option, but that is entirely up to you as an individual. So that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we'll start off with our low levels. We are still playing 3 Red Rising. Arguably in this version, in my opinion, you probably could cut it to 2, just because your level 6 is not your go-to. You're not going to be going to it every single turn, because you actually want to get into your Borreload Savage Dragon to be that 1 Dark Dragon Synchro. But then again, if you're not worried about anything, you're just trying to add Borreload Savage Dragon to the end board, and you don't really care about trying to negate or stop a Nibiru, then of course you can just go down this normal route and then make Savage Dragon one of the last level 8s you make. For the level 7s, of course, we've got the 1 Cully Belt, followed by the 1 Scarlight, the 1 Scarred Dragon Archfiend, and 2 Red Dragon Archfiend. Very, very nice. Then, of course, for I'll save the Borreload Savage to the end, actually, just so you can kind of see all of the options you have from it. Then for the 9s, we've got the 1 Abyss Dragon, we've got the 10s of the 1 Bane and the 1 Dispater, and then of course we do have the 1 Red Supernova. Now you can change this up. This doesn't have to be Red Supernova, it can be Red Nova Dragon, it can be Tyrant Dragon, it can be the Neversoul Dragon. It really does come down to your personal preference, it's entirely up to you. And then for the Borreload engine, you'd play the 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, of course, and then your target you're going to want to send as your extra Foolish Burial option is your Tri-Brigade Arms. Now this was a super rare, so it's very easy and cheap to pick up. And then you've got the option to, when it is sent to the graveyard, or if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to send a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. So that's going to give you the ability to send a Garura, and this will give you a free draw, while setting up a level or a Link 5 in the graveyard that your Borreload Savage Dragon can attach, giving this 5 counters and making it a base attack of 4,750. If you don't have access to a Garura because it is a little bit more expensive, of course you could go into the Tri-Brigade Link 2. The only difference is you'd be drawing and putting 1 back rather than just drawing 1 for free. And that is it for the profile. So like I said, I'm doing this live as we currently go. I will put this video out as a separate video so that everyone can watch it and then feed back on it and kind of understand where it's going and how it's going to work. I do like the idea behind it. I feel that it does provide you with a very nice Omni-Negate monster, which the deck does kind of lack. But it is at the cost of half your life points. You do have to be a little bit careful when you are playing it. Obviously, if you do have access to stuff like Triple Tactics Frost, Triple Tactics Talents, then you can probably cut this down and make this as like a secondary option. One other thing that can be very, very good for the side deck, and this was mentioned to me by Kronk here on the live chat, is you can actually use Ultimate Slayer, which would be really, really kind of cool, because then it gives you a card that can help you break a board, while also being able to send this without having to pay half your life points. So Ultimate Slayer, if it comes back into tournament, is a great option. The only difference is it's only going to be most effective and most beneficial for you to be able to send a Link monster. Of course, you can naturally send a synchro monster anyway, and you do have the option, because you're already playing Garura, to send a fusion monster to get a draw. So you're covering 2 bases, technically 3 when you count any of your synchro monsters. It's only XYZs that you wouldn't be able to cover, and that's when you're probably going to be putting in that rank 9, that when it gets sent from the extra deck to the graveyard, it can negate a card on the field, or a monster on the field, I believe it is. So it does give you the best of both. Obviously, Ultimate Slayer is a bit of a step up in the kind of terms of budget, accessibility, but it does kind of give you a couple of options to work around with and kind of go from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. For those of you that are watching live, stay tuned. We'll go and do some test hands. I'll talk about small world bridges, and if you do have any questions at all about the deck or the build in general, I can answer them for you there. But for those of you that are watching the record of this, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.